Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. We'll start the streaming in 2 minutes. जो भी डाउट से पूछ लो. Good morning, Nilesh. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Shrikant. Good morning, Isma. One hour की नया candle भी आ चुके हैं. So let's start with the analysis, right? So what are the major things that needs to be taken under the consideration, right? So कल के दिन में जो मोमेंट अलोकेशन था मिनिमलिटी M2 तक, वो टारगेट कंप्लीट होने के बाद मार्केट ने रिट्रेस हुई नीचे एलजी पॉइंट के लिए. सो अभी भी एलजी पॉइंट पूरी तरीके से कवर्ड नहीं है, जो कि इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में यहाँ पे बिल्ड आउट है. करेक्ट. सो ये एलजी पॉइंट कवर करने के लिए फर्स्ट ट्राई ऑफ एक्शन मिनिमलिटी M2 जनरेट हुई थी कल के दिन. वो टारगेट आज सुबह में अचीव किया है. उसके साथ नया कैंडल विक के बिना रिट्रेस हो रही है, मतलब कंटिन्यूटी इन द मूवमेंट confirmed है. Right? So with this plan of action, what is volume indicating us? Action plan 1, right? So market had created कल के दिन में first action plan of a reversal prodigy in this candle itself, where at surplus minimality M1. Keeping in that point of action also, we were looking towards the long, because उसके बाद market ने एक iceberg tangent create किया था, and there was no execution point in 15 minutes. Correct. जब execution point develop नहीं होती है, setup create नहीं होती है, we don't go in the opposite direction. Henceforth the trade was looked in propaganda of long in the morning session, जो कि हमारा target भी hit हुआ था in scenario of this moment. Correct. So execution 1 with this point, execution 2 at this point, with the following setups of S2B1. While this, what are the next major things that needs to be taken under the consideration? Right? Short के लिए हम ये वाला trade क्यों पकड़े नहीं? Because हमें यहाँ पे setup मिला ही नहीं. Right? So in the formation of the setup, where are my entries? Are what are the plan of actions that we'll be looking for? First execution point with an intact of S2B1 यहाँ पे हुई थी. उसका टारगेट अभी भी कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है. MTSL के साथ ट्रेड ऑफ एक्शन प्लान डेवलपमेंट में है. राइट. कीपिंग इन माइंड विद दिस एक्शन प्लान, आज के दिन के लिए वॉल्यूम क्या कर रहा है वो देख. गुड आफ्टरनून पीटर. Right. So in this today's scenario, market had taken a rejection. With the rejection, high volume development के साथ continuity in the drop. And Asian session में आके this is the first high volume which showcased, right? With this showcase, what could be the first plan of movement that we could be expecting? A direct movement of action? No, not yet. Right? So, what we have to look for is a exact liquidity intact point, whereas currently in the moment of this wick range, right? Buyers position हुआ है, no doubt, but direct movement allocation market नहीं देगी, right? Setup form होने का wait करो, उसके साथ ही trade off execution build up में होगा, not directly to that. Following that, उसके बाद जब तक market iceberg zone में है, keep it in the same direction till the next high volume doesn't come into the play. Knowing that we have already got a reversal indication from the volume, so only one thing that needs to be taken under the consideration is LJ point cover होने दो, setups form होने दो, तभी ही reversal plan of action को execution पे लाएंगे, not prior to that, right? In 15 minutes, what are the next major action plans which will be taken under the conclusion? LG points कहाँ पे है? Point of action of the bearish movement, only one LG point is created at this range, right? Rest all movements has been covered up, right? So in this formulation, what are the next movements that needs to be kept under the conversion belt? That is demand and supply allocation. Every point of action needs to be mapped, right? How did this minimality M2 got formed? First come first serve allot हुआ, first come first serve allot होने के बाद retracement. Retracement was taken in the propaganda of the last movement, which was in analyzed of the conversion with the conversion point of action. Rejection होने के बाद first come first serve का demand कौन सा है? ये वाला, correct? So this demand will be taken under the play with the continued movement. What do we notice? M2 formation because it's below 50%, double it, point of movement action, right? So this is one of the moments which is needs to be looked at. What is the second moment action plan that will be taken into the consideration? Definitely आप लोग ये भी मैप किए होंगे, तो ये मैपिंग में 150% का allocation दिखती है. That's the reason we didn't take this, because हमारा 1 hour का demand it was matching with the nearest point of M2, not the 150% rejection point, right? So in this reference, if you look, what do we notice? 1 hour is matching with our 15 minutes candle of this demand. With this demand allocation, what do we notice? M1 formation ka drop कहाँ तक आएगा, right? At this current stage, evaluating this movement will be a pretty big task because the allocating point is directly at 1463. So we will not be taking this because 1 hour demand के साथ rejection दिखाया था. Then the first come first serve allocation with minimality M2 was formed. तो उसके लिए वो trade off action plan was taken under the consideration. Okay. So any doubts in gold? Please do ask. So current directions of Asian session could be one retracement and then continuity in the long side, right? Post completion of LG. Was this reversal anticipated last night? Yeah, the plotting allocations were taken under the consideration of last night maker. That's right. With the same allocation where you're in the group, if you notice, this point of interest was taken under the consideration, right? Of 160 pips of add-on closure. So from that point of action, map the demand allocating points. With the demand allocating points, this allocation gets into the play. S2P1 short. Good. कहाँ तक होल्ड करोगे ओवरऑल? Segregation point of 1H to M. Okay. नहीं नहीं स्मिता मैम, MTSL थोड़ा नीचे कर लो. यस, सिस्टम ट्रेलिंग भी अलॉट कर लें. Do we only consider the candle body as intact zone, or the candle with high wick range also considered as intact zones? As many a times after high wick candle formation, the price covers the wick range before next one. So Nilesh, it's considered in perspective of if this high wick is being allotted in this point, right? In the previous allocation, right? Do we have any allocating point of action? If there is a previous point of allocating action, the direction will be the same. So in this case, if you notice, we have a LG point over here, right? So this LG point needs to be covered, which has not been done yet, henceforth. Everyone map post coverance of this 200%, 200% break, second serving will be this, okay? So where is your entry? 422 2.789 3 विंग सेटअप के साथ एड ऑन अभी तक नहीं किया करना है टुडेस ट्रेड कोई बात नहीं गुड मॉर्निंग श्रेयस श्रीकांत व्हाट्स द टाइमलाइन ऑफ द स्क्रीनिंग सुरेश जी अगर स्ट्रीम पे हो तो टाइमलाइन शेयर कर दीजिए गुड मॉर्निंग अंबिका यू आर लेट टू फाइसा वोंट बी जॉइनिंग नो वरीज क्या हो गया ठीक जो बिगनर्स है they can follow a strict MTSL if you want because starting trade-off action plans may don't look for over execution. My screen timing is 9 minutes 50 seconds. Beautiful. Yesterday it was 11 minutes, no? 9.3. Not bad. You have to reduce by 1 more minute. Okay. किसी को भी कोई डाउट्स है प्लीज डू आस्क सर BTC मिनिमलिटी M2 होने के बाद करंट फॉर्मेशन के साथ न्यू अलोकेट कर लो राइट अभी भी थ्रेशोल्ड फॉर्मेशन लॉन्ग के लिए क्रिएट नहीं हुआ है so the plan of action will be taken under the consideration of first point of action 1 mapping allocation to break and continue 150 200, right? So जब तक long के लिए threshold form नहीं होगी, the direction will be still in the bearish side only. Next target is 79,500 as per the TTS formation. ठीक है? पंद्रह मिनट नीलेश के लिए अलॉट किया था यहाँ पे allocation 1 break and continue surplus action plan 200% पे है so rejection propaganda will be taken under the consideration from top to bottom remapping of the structure 1 break and continue surplus 100% drop allocation criteria 2. So with the criteria 2 point of action, what is the next step? Normal supply mapping converted into demand conversions, minimality M1 formation 200%. Good morning, Arya. नहीं नहीं बीटीसी में यहाँ पे रुक जाओ नेक्स्ट एड ऑन कहाँ पे करेंगे पता 4 आवर्स में एक विक क्रिएशन है एक कैंडल क्लोज होने दो राइट विद द ड्रॉप नेक्स्ट कैंडल त्रिशूल फॉर्मेशन के साथ आता है तब न्यू एड ऑन करेंगे उससे पहले नहीं ओके daily time frame clearly indicating that the market is still in the drop point so drop point allocation if you notice threshold formation bottom पे ही है bottom पे मतलब bearish side के लिए है so allocations will be in the same propaganda side okay no change in the drop नहीं हर एक ट्रेड कैप्चर करने की जरूरत ही नहीं if market is indicating well and good if market is not indicating then Shant, you don't have to hurry Tuesday है ना Tuesday it's never direction right first and second half एक जोन हंट होता है, उसके बाद न्यूयॉर्क में डायरेक्शन पकड़ेगा। हाँ, उसकी वजह से ही तो शॉर्ट में है ना। नहीं तो आईडी ट्रेड 150 पिप्स में मैं ये क्लोज नहीं करता एस टू पी वन का एंटर। Streaming will be there for next 20 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. See, understand the criteria of this moment. Why towards the short? Pressure allocation देखो. In this bullish moment, indication one towards the short. Okay. Keeping in mind, Asian session में हमें long के लिए allotment दिखा था, right? उसके साथ long के लिए अगर movement आता है तो कहाँ से आता है, right? The nearest rejection point, right? So once the high volume is created, you have to wait for a rejection to be occurred at a point of interest where you can look for an execution. In this perspective, what are the next things that you will be looking? Okay, supply 100%. What is it indicating at that point? Selling pressure 1, selling pressure 2, selling pressure 3, 4, 5. Right? यहाँ पे कहीं पे भी bias allotting है? नहीं. In this current candle also there is no. Right? Till the time next buyer allocation of a pressure isn't being converted, we won't be looking for an holding perspectives in today's scenario. Okay? So henceforth, with the three wing short. सर कल का लॉन्ग लिया था आपने? यस, दो एंट्री हुई थी। एक लाइव पे हुई थी, एक लाइव होने के बाद इंटैक्स से जो ड्रॉप आया था दो कैंडल रेड, उसके बाद सेटअप फॉर्मेशन के साथ आया। नहीं 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 नहीं, गलत मैपिंग है, चेंज करो उसे। उतना लंबा अलॉट करने के लिए मार्केट ने इंडिकेशन ही नहीं दिया है, छोटा कर भाई। सुबह सुबह एशियन सेशन में 200 पिप्स की फर्स्ट अलोकेशन होनी चाहिए। ये क्या है, 600 पॉइंट्स की अलोकेशन लेके चल रहा है, नॉट वाइट। डेवलपमेंट में तो आने दे मूवमेंट को. सेबोटाज क्यों कर रहे हो खुद के एंट्रीज को? Even though this is the Asian session, the quietest session, you're able to see setups take place in this Asian sessions worth taking. Even though gold should make bigger moves in the London and New York. I totally agree with your point, Peter, but allocation perspectives wise, market tends to give a setup formation of 5 to 6 in the entire day, right? So major target allocations will be taken in perspectives of 150 pips to 200 pips in Asian sessions. So yes, we do look for an execution in Asian. Concluded that the moment carry forwards in the London session, then we'll be looking for an swing conversion. Else not, we'll be closing the trades in ID. Developmental rolling. So the derived action plan. So let me showcase you few of the entry points that we looked in last previous sessions, as you're also part of it, so you will understand the execution perspectives, right? The first execution of yesterday's movement was taken under the consideration of the setup over here, right? Allocating point of view was 110 pips, right? Which is a good number for an Asian movement, not a bad one. The second execution again was taken into the previous point of Asian session with S2B1 over here till minimality M2, which you have noticed in the group, which is running at the preservance of 370 pips in carry forwarded with Asian and London session, keeping in mind of diluted move, right? The same person of the Friday allocation in the Asian session, if you notice, the day's transient was in pursuant with two action plans, which was taken under the consideration through the UTC movements, was in development of S2B1 over here, right? Target 1 was supply 200%, target 2 was at 4195, target 3 was at 4205, and then the sync conversions. The trade-off execution from this point of action till TP1 was at 480 pips, just in the Asian session, right? If I keep the propaganda of revolt on the whole trade of execution, this trade had created a beautiful move till surplus 150%, which was at 100 pips. Entire day value. So the quietest sessions makes the loudest noise, but people always tend to let go that because they think this is getting into a consolidation zone of action plan, which is not right. Henceforth, the misjudgment of retailers gets into the play. This will convert into red. Follow through में बने रहना उसमें. MTS will drop करो वरुण. Add on बाद में देखना. No, it doesn't perhaps a lot the circumstantial moment. So why do higher time frames have superiority in terms of mapping? Because allocations in the higher time frame is the only priority for us to look for an executions. No hedge funds, no investment bankings use a smaller time frame to execute. We look the chart in perspectives of 1 hour, 4 hours, and daily to allocate the structural movements to empower the directions and to hold. We are not scalpers. Strategy allocation is very much important. It's a long way to go, but definitely very soon you will understand. एक चीज याद रखना, till the next dilution point of action, the plans will be sustainably in the same moment because all the reserves are getting diluted. Okay, so इस चीज में be very careful. Careful. हाई बिड आई है इंडियन मार्केट्स में. क्लोज रेंज allocation के साथ next strategical announcement will be taken under the play. Till then, no. Stream will be there for next 10 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. Today's high volume has formed in 15 minutes and 1 hour. By looking at the candle, it seems stronger bullish pressure, and there are two LG points pending upside at 9:30 and 11:45 UTC yesterday. So, what preservative prospect? Okay, what perspective keeps us from expecting it to cover them first before going for the pending LG at 1482? See, there is only one LG which is pending, main LG which is pending, right? That is this one, right? 930 wala. If you're taking under the consideration of 1145 candle, 1145 candle is already covered. इसमें नहीं दिख रहा है, but IG में वो cover हो चुकी है. Okay? So allocation के लिए जब भी trade off action plan करते हो ना नीलेश, तो keeping in mind, right? 1 hour में volume क्या बताया? एशियन सेशन में हाई वॉल्यूम डेवलप हो चुकी है, करेक्ट? नो डाउट ऑन दैट. बट अगर मार्केट ऊपर के लिए जाना है ना इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन से, सो एटलीस्ट इट हैज टू कवर अप द डाइल्यूट लिक्विडिटी, राइट? डाइल्यूट लिक्विडिटी क्या होता है? इन टर्म्स ऑफ वॉल्यूम perceptions, whenever there is a preserved limit orders placed in the directions of a running movement, right? So sometimes what happens, this diluted movement will get into the play for a bigger liquidity to hunt and then continue the movement. Because हमेशा एक चीज याद रखना, if the price is at 100 rupees, okay, let's take in the formation of dollars, right? So if the price is at $1,000, okay, so with the $1,000, market will not directly go to $2,000, right? So from $1,000, first it has to dilute the running development price, right? So $1,000 पहुंचने के लिए $100 से ऊपर गया, right? इस $100 के बीच में there is a diluted liquidity platforms built. When the diluted liquidity platforms are built, that price of action will be in the range of $300 to $500, right? In the differentiated plan of action of $100 to $1,000 range. Then what does the market tend to do? Market tends to come down till the range of 300, gets the distributed liquidity, then it will get the power to move to $2,000. Right? So the power of dilutional liquidities is allotted in perspective of to the previous, right? So how will you know that okay, market has reached $1,000, now it will come down to $300? That allocation is identified through the major calculations and through the TTS. Okay, TTS is the name, mathematical formulations, right? So through that, you will know where exactly the next rejection point is going to be occurred and where the next formulation volume is going to develop, right? So in that propaganda, the trade-off action plans, if it needs to continue in the movement towards the long, it has to hunt out the major liquidated range, right? तो simple chart में अगर आपको notice करना है ना, so that liquidated range at the current place is easily identified by 4 hours. Right? Let me remove it for you. What do you notice? ये इधर तक आने की जरूरत ही क्या है? Because यहाँ पे LG है, right? So these are the few major things which needs to be taken under the consideration for evaluation of a right price actional point. ठीक है? So these are the important key factual points which is taken under the consideration for diluted liquidities to have a pump again in the continuity in the market. अगर कोई तुम्हें बोलेगा कि रिटेलर्स को हंट करने आएगा, then don't be in that vehem ki retailers are holding the trade from this point to this point. After this rejection, also they are still in that trade. Okay, so that's the myth, right? अगर इतना बड़ा मूवमेंट उनको दिखा है एंड इमीडिएटली उनको ये बिग दिखा है ना सेलिंग प्रेशर के साथ 90% ऑफ द रिटेलर्स आर आउट foremost. कभी और नीलेश. Okay. Civil Punk, yesterday you said Nifty could go up, but it came down. So please rewind yesterday's streaming and please do check the allocation preservance was in the play of the point range. Right? This was the action plan. यहाँ तक market आने दो उसके बाद ही. It was not a direct rational point of looking towards the long. This was the placement which was given, no? Right? With this placement, market created a surplus action point. So definitely the plan of action will be towards the short. Definitely this will be hunted. But once the liquidity is grabbed, not prior to that. You can rewind and check if you want yesterday's streaming. Go with the analysis, not by the words. Okay. Even now, the same propaganda will be applied. If the formation of the setup is over here towards long, definitely we'll look for a long. If the formation is not created with S2B1 over here, why will I look for a long? When the market is clearly indicating with S2B1 structure towards the short, right? So the same formulation applied in yesterday's scenario. What is the setup formation? S2B1 is the setup formation towards the short, not towards the long, right? Long के लिए plan of action देखो. S2B1 setup form हुआ, long के लिए आया. S2B1 setup form हुआ, short के लिए आया, right? S2B1 setup form होके three wing formation आया, long के लिए. Drop intact S2B1, drop intact S2B1, drop intact S2B1, right? So the formation is always inconsiderated in the same propaganda of allocations. So we can't just go by the words. नहीं नहीं अगस्त्य, रहने दो, थोड़ा नीचे रख ले उसे. हाँ, येलो ऑर्डर को रीडेवलप करोगे. So for the analysis, what rejection? You see what you see. So what should I do for that? करेंगे करेंगे. न्यू ईयर खत्म हो जाने दो उसके बाद इंडियन मार्केट्स भी स्टार्ट. It's been a very long time. ऑप्शंस नहीं किया हूँ. फ्यूचर्स ट्रेड एग्जीक्यूट हो रही है बट ऑप्शंस में it's been a very long time. What do you prefer to execute the trades in options? I love to play in OTMs out of the money because we know exact rejection points. Yes, first execution is always in at the money. My second add-on point will be always at the in the money. Third add-on will also be in the money. The fourth add-on will be at OTM. So OTM also will be not in propaganda of the same month. It will be of 2-3 months ahead. The dilutional hedge. Because same day में directions बहुत rare है henceforth. Stream will be there for next 5 minutes. Whatever doubts you're having, please do share. मैं इंटरेस्टेड ही नहीं हूँ यार. तुम बोलो ना बोलो. जब तक अगर निफ्टी में मेरे को लॉन्ग देखना है तो यहाँ पे सेटअप फॉर्म होने दो. Till then, love. Hope you got the understanding of the analysis 7 pound. आपका नाम क्या है? If you were in the trade, you could have looked for a long year. No, not yet. Setup formation होने तक मैं long जाऊंगा ही नहीं. Derived action plans will not be comprehended in perspective of to the previous allocations. Previous allocations के हिसाब से जाऊंगा. So on this green candle closure, I will go for first come first serve supply allocation point. Clear cut. Knowledge wise अगर बात करना है, POI partner 1, partner 2, partner 3 break towards the long, right? With the creational setup short. Book knowledge. कौन सा book? मेरा वाला. और किसका बोलना है? Okay. So all the beginners, whichever strategy, whichever concept, whichever formulations you guys are following, 6 months of back testing, 6 months of forward testing, 1 month of live analysis. With 1 month of live analysis, come with a small capital, compound it and grow it, following with a proper risk to reward. There are only three things which you have to remove if you want to sustain in this business. That is FGF, fear, greed, and FOMO. Once you remove that, you will be in the right directions, following with the right rules and setups. It's your hard-earned money. Learn before you earn and execute at the levels where market tends to play the role. Execute the trades with your psychology, execute the trades with your knowledge, execute the trades with your understanding and your setups. You don't give your accounts to manhandle it, nor execute the trades on tips. Learn and execute. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं अगली सेशन में. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर. बाय बाय.